All right, we're live and recording. Have my Coke Zero as always here. So, hope you guys are having a great Thursday. So, hopping on here, and I wanted to talk a little bit about Memorial Day weekend, how to approach it nutrition wise, because I know a lot of you guys might have things planned for this weekend. Spending time with family maybe on Monday, cookouts, whatever it may be. Today's been a week, or today's been a week. This week has been a week. So sorry, I just kind of like text messages that popped up on my screen. But it's been a week and it's been a day. So just haven't had a lot of appointments over the past week or two. A lot of like dental appointments. Found out I have two cavities. Had to get those filled this morning. So hopefully it doesn't look like one side of my face is droopy because they had to numb it up. But it's a lot better now. So I had that. Had to shift all of my workouts a day ahead of time because I'm helping my brother-in-law move tomorrow. So I'm going to be on the road doing all that for most of the day. So I had to get my big, hard, heavy lifting session in this morning early, wake up at like 5 a.m. bright and early. The kids woke up before I was done, so I wasn't able to finish all of it. And just a lot of stuff as I was getting the kids ready for daycare like I normally do. We have this like a butt cream that we use for my daughter who's 9 months old. We put that on when we change her diapers because she got really bad like diaper rash when she was younger. Somehow, I don't know what happened. I don't know if somebody forgot to tighten up the lid on the butt cream, but I was getting the leash on my dog, getting ready to take her outside, and I was going to take my daughter with me and just carry her. And I looked over, and she's got her whole entire hand in this like bucket, this bit of butt cream. I'm like, oh my gosh, had it all over her hand. Had to clean that up. I was in a rush. It's just been like a crazy couple of weeks and a crazy day, but I'm excited to be on here talking to you guys. So Memorial Day weekend. A lot of times people allow these kinds of weekends, these holiday weekends, throw off their progress when they really don't have to. So here is my guide, my step-by-step guide on how to approach, let's say Memorial Day weekend, let's say Monday. You're having a cookout with family. How would I go about approaching this while staying on track with my nutrition so I can enjoy the day while also not feeling like I went overboard or feeling like it was an off track day or feeling like I binged or waking up the next day feeling super bloated, uncomfortable, and feeling like I ruined my progress. So first thing, what you want to do is you want to find out, and this is going to be approached with the mindset that you are tracking your food and you are hitting a specific calorie range in some sort, like our clients do. That way, you know that you're eating the appropriate amount of calories and nutrition for your body over time. So first and foremost, that's kind of where we're starting. So first, you want to figure out what your calorie range approximately is for your maintenance level, which means how many calories your body roughly burns per day to maintain its weight. So this isn't what you need to lose or need to eat to lose body fat. People will like type in their stats into a calculator, be like, okay, I'm going to lose 1 pound per week. How much should I eat? This is not this number. This is the amount of calories that you should be eating or want to be eating roughly to maintain your current body fat level. Now, even if your goal is fat loss long term, you want to use this number or this range of numbers because you don't want to approach holidays as, hey, I need to be perfectly on track with my fat loss diet while it's a holiday. You want to have the flexibility to enjoy that day with a little bit of extra calories, a little bit extra food to eat. So we want to aim for maintenance instead. And that's just what's going to be most realistic. So you want to find that number. There are different calculators you can use online for this to get a rough gauge. A good rough estimate is using the Mifflin-St. Jeor equation, using an activity factor of like 1.4 after you put your stats in. And that's roughly where you might be. Now, this is a rough estimate. It's not perfect. When we work with one-on-one clients, we go through a priming phase to find out where their actual true maintenance is because some clients, based on their metabolism and how it adapts, is sometimes even a little bit higher than those ranges, a little bit lower, right in the middle, and so on. But if you are somebody who like you don't currently track your food or you're not a one-on-one client and you don't have an actual calorie range and you have no idea how much you burn, use that equation and that's going to give you a rough ballpark. From there, we want to think ahead of, okay, where are we going for this Memorial Day meal and what kinds of foods are maybe going to be there? Because we want to start plugging that stuff in ahead of time. Like today's Thursday, I would go into Monday's food log, Memorial Day's food log, and start logging like what you are probably going to eat for that day. So, I mean, I think what's really common at these types of like cookouts and places are things like burgers, hot dogs, potato chips, maybe mac and cheese, maybe potato salad, maybe some fruit, watermelon, whatever it may be. I feel like those are probably pretty common things. And maybe some desserts might be there too. Maybe some cookies, chocolate chip cookies, maybe. And then there might be some drinks, maybe for somebody who likes to have, a beer or two on these holidays. Those types of things are going to be there. And what you want to do is you want to kind of go through the list of, okay, here's what like an ideal Memorial Day meal might look like that I'm going to enjoy. For me, I would probably want a burger, maybe even two burgers, but I probably wouldn't want all of the calories that come along with two buns necessarily. So for me, I would probably have two burger patties in one bun. So I will go into Monday's food log and log, okay, two 90% or 85% lean ground beef burgers. If somebody else is cooking it, it's probably a good idea to go with 85% lean. If you are the one cooking it and you are buying the actual like meat for it, you can obviously buy whatever percentage lean you want. And the higher percentage lean, the better. It's going to be a little bit lower in calories, a little bit higher in protein. But let's assume someone else is buying it. I'm going to go the safe route and estimate 85%. So 85% lean ground beef burgers. Now, if they're making these, like patting these up from scratch, they could be any size really. But most of the time, if people are patting them up, they might be 5 ounces each. If you buy them from a store like pre-made, they're probably going to be about 4, maybe 5 ounces each. So I would probably log 2 5-ounce, 85% lean ground beef burgers just to be on the safe side. So I'd log that. I would log one just regular hamburger bun. I would log that. I would log the ketchup that I'm going to put on that burger. So I'd maybe log, let's say, 2 or 3 tablespoons of ketchup. So now I have my burger, my bun, my ketchup already logged into Monday's food log, so I know how many calories are left remaining there. Now I'll think, okay, what else do I maybe want to have with this meal that's going to help me enjoy it? Well, maybe I like know there's going to be some drinks, and I don't drink very often. Literally just maybe a couple of drinks for special occasions here and there. Maybe I plan to have like one drink with my meal. So I'm going to go ahead and log maybe one Bud Light or whatever kind of drink that you might be taking with you or that people might have. Go ahead and input that into your food log, right? And that's going to help to account for some of those calories there. Then I'll move on to, okay, what maybe side do I want to have? Now, I want to think in my head about putting my plate together with the puzzle pieces of some kind of lean protein. The leaner, the better if I can. And my ground beef burgers, that's kind of satisfying that requirement. 85% lean isn't like super lean. I'd like it to be a little bit leaner, but obviously if someone else is making the burgers, you might not have a choice with that. But the burgers are kind of taking the protein portion of my plate. The bun is kind of taking the carbohydrate portion of my plate. And then the third puzzle piece is some kind of combination of fruit or vegetables or both that I want to make probably about a third or maybe a half of my plate. So other than the burger and the buns, I'm going to go in the beer, the alcohol that I just mentioned, I'm going to go in and I'm going to think, okay, do I know what kind of fruit's going to be there? Am I able to bring my own fruit? Maybe I'm able to bring a bunch of blueberries and strawberries, and then I can know, okay, I'm going to have a cup of blueberries and a cup of strawberries with my meal too. Maybe someone else is bringing stuff, but there's going to be like watermelon. If you log like 2 cups of fruit or even 3 cups of fruit, really, no matter what kind of fruit anybody brings, it's probably going to be pretty similar in calories. Like a cup of blueberries is pretty similar in calories to a cup of strawberries, to a cup of blackberries. Most of them are pretty similar. Things like bananas might be on average a little bit higher in calories than, berries. But if you even log just like 2 or 3 cups of any kind of fruit, it's going to get you in some kind of ballpark range. So I'll go through that checklist and, okay, what kind of fruit or vegetable or both do I want to add to this? And let me log that. So now I basically have my whole meal already plugged in with a beer. And then maybe, hey, let me log 1 chocolate chip cookie for a dessert so I can have that too. Well, now after I log that stuff, all of those things added together might come out to, let's say, I don't know, 800, 900 calories maybe. Like, I don't know if that's the number. This is me just, guesstimating. But if I know that, and I know what my total calorie goal for the whole day is, let's say my total goal for the whole day is, for you is maybe 2,100 calories. Well, I can log that into my food log, know that Memorial Day meal, if I eat those things, even roughly eat those things in those amounts, is going to take away 900 of my calories. I'm going to have 1,100 calories left for the rest of my day. So now those other 2 meals that I hypothetically in the scenario have control over, because let's say the Memorial Day meal is like a dinner and breakfast and lunch I'm going to be at home eating and have more control over. Now I can plan backwards and think, okay, I have 1100 calories left over after inputting all that stuff. Now I'm going to plan what my breakfast and my lunch is going to be with those remaining calories. So if I want to split those up evenly, then each of those meals, I probably want somewhere around 550 calories ish per meal. And then whatever my protein goal is for the day, let's say your total protein goal is 110 for the entire day, that Memorial Day meal you inputted ahead of time in your food log comes out to like 40 grams of protein. Well, now you have 70 grams of protein left to hit with breakfast and lunch, and divide that by two. So now that's 35 grams of protein for each meal. And it's pretty simple when you just go through that exercise. And like I'm literally talking this through, and it took me I'm at 11 minutes of this like video, this live right now, this podcast. I talked about some other stuff in the beginning of this too, to just kind of visualize what I plan to eat, how I'm going to log it. And now it might take you maybe an extra 10 minutes at the most to go into your food log and log that stuff to see how they fit. And then it might take you an extra 10 minutes from there to go into breakfast and lunch for that Monday and plug those things in ahead of time. So I think, a lot of times people get really overwhelmed with like, oh my gosh, we have Memorial Day coming up, this holiday, this meal. I don't know how I'm going to approach it when it comes to my food log. If you want to still log your food for the day, that is a really easy way to do it. And like I said, we are just trying to get close to your maintenance calories. It's not that important that you are perfect with it. Because if you are maybe a little bit under your maintenance actually, or a little bit over your maintenance actually, it's just one day in the grand scheme of things. One holiday where you're enjoying yourself, even if you end up going a few hundred calories over your maintenance, you won't gain a ton of body fat. You won't gain pounds of body fat by going 300 calories even over your maintenance. It takes about 3,500 extra calories to gain 1 pound of body fat. So if you burn 2,000 calories in a day, in order to gain 1 pound of body fat, you would have to eat over 5,500 calories in a singular day. So even if we are just close to the ballpark range, within a couple hundred calories even of your rough maintenance, by going through that simple exercise of plugging that in ahead of time, it goes a long way. So this was a quicker video. I do got to hop on a call, but just wanted to give my step-by-step guide of how to approach this Memorial Day weekend, and do that with all of these meals. Maybe you have a couple of meals that you are eating out for the holiday. Do that for a couple of those meals. Go through that exercise, plug that stuff in ahead of time. But that's how you're able to really enjoy those moments still, while still feeling like, hey, I didn't really go way off track. I can wake up the next morning, know, hey, I was probably pretty close to my maintenance calories. It might not have been perfect, but I was close. And then just get right back on track with, being a little bit more dialed in with your food tracking, the rest of the week. So hopefully this was helpful, and helped to kind of ease your mind, gave you some tangible, practical steps on, how to, pre-log this stuff. But biggest thing is planning ahead, plugging in your food log ahead of time. If you just wake up the day of and just kind of wing your day, you're not going to feel as like secure and confident with, what you're doing. So hopefully this was helpful, and I will see you guys in the next one.